So current trends, right? So you want the open floor plan, but what are the other sort of things to know? What's hot right now?
Well, wallpaper is back with a vengeance, actually. It's not your grandmother's wallpaper anymore.
Uh-oh.
So you can do either a bold pattern for an accent wall and entryways, which looks really beautiful, or behind the bed. I usually do like an interesting pattern or texture, something behind the headboard in the master bedroom or bedrooms. And interesting pattern wallpaper is back, as well as textured vinyls, believe it or not. I know it sounds crazy that vinyls, it's not cheap. It's like high-end vinyls that look like beautiful grass cloths and linens.
Wow.
And they're washable and very family friendly, or great for, high use, locations, even, commercial properties and things.
Cool.
Yeah. And they're beautiful. They are.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, that's important,
yeah.
right?
I mean, they're neutral
Beautiful and comfortable and
they don't
usable.
look like vinyls, is what I'm trying to say.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know. So now, as we mentioned, sort of off air, our audience primarily Miami realtors and also consumers of real estate. When they're in the process of selling a home, obviously the curb appeal is important, but inside, creating that wow moment so that the potential buyers can imagine themselves there.
Right.
Home staging is one of the most important sort of components of that successful sale.
Absolutely.
So what do you have for us in terms of pro tips? Give me like 3 sort of top line things that you can do to make that home staging more impactful?
Well, there's 3 major things that have to go on, and basically everyone has to do it. First is declutter. And I can't stress that anymore. Declutter, declutter, and declutter. Just clean it, even the kitchen, and take everything off, and, just take all your personal belongings and put it aside, and depersonalize it as well. So family photos are down, and neutralize it. And then you want to paint and use a soft neutral tones throughout the house or apartment.
So you're saying declutter, depersonalize, and then paint.
Yes.
Neutrals.
Yes.
Okay, excellent.
Absolutely.
And what? So where would you start if you're trying to determine? So the decluttering, of course, straightforward, and depersonalizing. Where would you start in terms of colors, or how does one determine what are the right neutrals for a house?
Mostly we're using I guess everyone's talking about whites and grays.
Mm-hmm.
And now I think it's more taupe, so warmer grays, not the cooler ones. Like a warmer taupey gray is really nice. And it's also universally appealing. And then, I've been working with clients for many, many years, and there's no one that doesn't love blues. So soft blues, I think, everyone loves.
Happens to be my favorite color.
Right?
So I'm with
Everyone
you.
loves blues. So I would definitely do the neutral tones with the taupes and the whites, and maybe soft tones of blues.
And now, in terms of, let's say, furniture, or sort of what you're seeing is popular in terms of the design or the type. Like, I know mid-century modern was in for a while.
Right.
I still personally love it. I love that sort of Mad Men era.
Yeah, right.
But what would you say are the current what's hot in that department?
Well, you know what? It's interesting that I think that the current trend is now bringing the outdoors in. So now you're bringing in beautiful large plants and trees and naturals and organic materials and all that. You're going to see a lot of that. Basically, even very, very soft neutrals and like natural tones and whites and trees and lots of greenery.
Interesting. And I think that's perfect here for Miami, in terms of both the color palette and sort of the idea of bringing outside in. Now, what about what not to do? What sort of advice would you have to someone saying, whether for home staging or even, just in terms of the actual living interior design, what are some of the things not to do?
Let's see, not to do bold colors. Mm-hmm. I think, like even red or any bold colors, I think could be a turnoff to be like, oh, I hate that color kind of thing. You have to make it universally appealing. And no one really is objective to neutrals, honestly. Right. And also soft tones.
Yeah.
So, some people love bold colors, but I wouldn't say that would be the way to go.
Okay. In terms of where getting help, right? So some customers may use an interior designer. Others may try to do it themselves, like as you did, to great success.
Yeah.
What do you suggest out there to someone who's wondering, which route should I go?
I mean, obviously, I think it's very beneficial to use an interior designer for many reasons. Most people can't make decisions. It's extremely overwhelming out there. I mean, to edit down is very overwhelming, and it's hard to make decisions, and people get stuck and then they don't do anything. They just stop. They buy one sofa and they're done. So, it's great to have an interior designer come and put it all together for them. And it's also really beneficial because people make mistakes on sizing and scale. And they bought things that are too big or too small, and they, basically wasted a lot of money. And it's happened over and over again. Even in commercial, I spoke to the guy and he goes, we spent millions of dollars on things that didn't work, that weren't correct. And if you have a professional, it really cuts down on those mistakes and actually saves you money.
So, I did want to ask you, in one sense, when you're starting a project, if you're working with a blank canvas, I think it's maybe easier, arguably, but let's say what do you say to someone who out there has maybe had, the home is already furnished, right? Okay. But you want to maybe refresh, update. Where does one start, or what would you suggest is like, what's the beginning?
I do a lot of refreshing also. So paint, you have to start with paint, and then, basically refreshing the sofa. We can do a slipcover or add some new fresh pillows and add unique new lighting and things like that. But maybe keeping the foundations of the furniture, like if it's a neutral, and then updating in use of accessories like lighting and pillows and window treatments and things. I like that. In terms of lighting, what do you suggest with that? I mean, lighting is crucial. Honestly, that really elevates the space.
I feel like I always have the wrong lighting or the wrong wattage.
Lighting is that's like the eye candy or jewelry in the room. So for me, lighting is like, I love it. It's like, cause that's like, it's, accessorizing. So you can do like interesting, like oversized lighting on the ceilings. You can do beautiful pendant lighting or sconces. And it depends on the type of lighting, depending on the style of the room.
Awesome. And Debbie, before you came on, I was looking at your website. I noticed that you had 35 5-star reviews. I was like, what? Yeah. How does sort of one do that, and what's been the key to your success over the years?
I think the most important thing with my clients is listening to them very carefully. So the first step is in the design process is they bring, inspirational photos and we go through them, and I really get their style and I understand their taste. By going through, I ask a lot of questions, what you like, what you don't like, and how you're going to use the space. I really dive deep into what, how they want to use their home and what their dream home is all about. And then I go and execute it. And I'm honestly like 90% on the mark, where I put the design board together. They say, I love it. Maybe I'll change one piece or two and we're done.
I love it. And what happens when there's a disagreement in the vision from the client at the beginning? How do you help resolve that?
Oh, yeah, that happens.
I'm thinking of my conversation with my wife.
Oh, yeah, that happens. Yeah, and the wife usually wins. So.
Yeah, she but you know what? She was, we were all the better for it. I gave her, the credit in the end. I said, you know what? I challenged you in the beginning, but you did right.
Right. And yeah, so the smart husbands say, go ahead and, listen to my wife.
Right.
But then they'll, on the back, in the background, they'll be like, I don't really like that piece. And then they'll say, well, my husband really doesn't like this. Can we change it? And I'm like, of course, no problem.
Well, the key for you guys out there is happy wife, happy life, right?
Yes.
So, Debbie, thank you so much for coming on. It's been a lot of fun.
I've really enjoyed it. Thank you.
And for those of you out there that want more information on DLT or Debbie, you can go to dltinteriors.com, is it?
Yes.
And we'll put the contact information in the show notes. You guys are amazing. I know at residential, commercial, they do it all. So
thank you.
Thanks, Debbie. We'll see you next time. From all of us here in Miami, where the future is always bright. Until next time.